I am looking for a U.S. representative or senator to bring the Title IX conversation and the revision of the rules back to the table in D.C. Girls and women from kindergarten through college are not protected right now. They are not safer under Donald Trump. Let me tell you why. During Donald Trump's first term in office, he and Betsy DeVos rewrote the Title IX rules to favor the accused, the people doing the harassment, the assault, the abuse. They made these changes during the Larry Nassar investigation, after the abuse that dozens of gymnasts had endured under Larry Nassar. In order for a school to initiate a Title IX investigation, the victim will have had to endure abuse or harassment so severe and pervasive on campus that they are denied equal access to a school or program. Did any of those elite gymnasts have denied access or equal opportunity to a school or program? Of course not. Did they endure mental hardship, anguish, perhaps missing a few days of practice? The Biden administration attempted to update the Title IX rules after listening to thousands of hours of testimony, not only from those gymnasts, but from hundreds of other victims of common abuse across the NCAA, in their high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, you name it. Part of those Title IX rewrite rules were going to address whether or not transgender athletes could participate in sports. But when those rules were released in fall of 2024, they did not address sports yet. The Title IX rules that were addressed covered what qualifies as harassment or abuse to initiate a Title IX investigation at their school. After a very lengthy investigation of which there was no time required, victims have to testify in front of their attacker or their accused, and then a panel of people who don't even have anything to do with the situation can evaluate whether or not they think that this testimony met the criteria. That is not protecting girls and women. And what happened while we were waiting for those rules in 2024 to be released is that a manufactured circus of misinformation and disinformation about transgender people was perpetuated by Moms for Liberty and opportunistic individuals who wanted to make the public think that these rules were all about giving transgender people free reign through bathrooms and locker rooms and to take athletic opportunities away from other people. Immediately upon those rules being released, Moms for Liberty engaged people to file lawsuits. From fall into December, before Donald Trump was sworn in, worked their cases all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court denied the implementation of the new rules. So we are now back to the rules that Trump and DeVos put into place in 2021. And that's been the end of it. There are cases of minors in elementary school having peer abuse and harassment. And in Michigan, there was a case in Alpena where a young student was harassed by a peer. And because of the Title IX rules, her legal team opted to use it as a civil rights case. And that didn't go her way. And then she tried to appeal it. That was also dismissed. And so that student is now defenseless against harm that she has been enduring because not only does Title IX not protect her, but it didn't qualify under a civil rights violation. Before the U.S. government even had the opportunity to address the sports elements, and what we know is that in December 2024, a representative from the NCAA was in D.C. and testified that approximately 10 or 15 athletes out of over 500,000 might be transgender. Anyone who says that they protect girls and women, I invite you to take a few steps with me. I would like you to read the United Nations report that is often cited by those who are transphobic to see what the 193 member nations and 8 billion people have resulted in the data that is in a report that talks about violence and harassment against women in sports. There is a small section on transgender sports participation. I would also like you to review the current Title IX policy, and I would like you to look at what the comparison was of the rules that the Biden administration proposed in 2024 and how those compare to now. After that, I would like you to tell me an opportunity to open this conversation back up to specifically address the protections and what constitutes harassment, abuse for K through 12 girls and university women and others in the protected classes to not only initiate a investigation, but to bring them justice. And then I would like us to separately reopen the conversation about athletics, which again had not yet been covered, and tackle that individually. Because right now, every American student is still helpless against an administration that has clearly fought to protect the release of the Epstein files and justice for victims. Women and girls, I'm sorry to tell you, you are less protected today than you were a year ago.